Next tests are the field tests for the determination of coefficient of permeability. So there are two type of field tests, that is pump out test and pump in test. So let's see the pump out test first. So pump out test, from the name itself it is clear that water is pumped out, and according to that the coefficient of permeability is determined. So what happens in this case, first of all, pump out test, it is a very expensive test. So it is done for large projects, but it gives reliable values. So it is the most reliable test for finding out the coefficient of permeability. So it is done for two type of conditions. First is depending upon the aquifers. So first of all, what is aquifer? Aquifer is a soil strata which is able to hold and transmit sufficient amount of water. Now there are two type of aquifers, that is unconfined aquifer and confined aquifer. So in unconfined aquifer, first we will see for the unconfined aquifer. So in unconfined aquifer, the water surface, so it is the water surface, so it is subjected to atmospheric pressure, and below this aquifer there will be a impervious surface. So the below surface is impervious and the top surface is at atmospheric pressure. And whereas in confined aquifer, the water is held between two impervious surfaces. So water will be there between two impervious surfaces. So when we put a well in this condition, the water level will rise, and that will be the uh, piezometric head, because water is under pressure. In this, water is under pressure. So let's see both of these one by one for unconfined and confined aquifer. So first, for unconfined aquifer, there are certain assumptions made in doing this test, that first is flow is laminar and Darcy's law is valid, and soil is homogeneous and isotropic. It means that the value of coefficient of permeability is not changing in any direction and at any location. So coefficient of permeability in x direction, y direction, z direction, it will be same, and going further in any direction also the coefficient of permeability will not change. So it means that the soil is homogeneous and isotropic. And the well penetrates the entire thickness of aquifer. It means that the well is up to the impervious layer of the aquifer. So there will be only the flow in the horizontal direction, and from below the well there is no flow which is coming to the well. So only flow is coming to in the horizontal direction, and flow is steady, which means that the value of discharge is not changing with time. We'll get a constant steady discharge, and flow towards the well is radial and horizontal. As I said, we are just assuming that the flow is coming in horizontal direction. Radial means that if it is the top view of the well, so it is water is coming radially from all the directions. Now depending upon these assumptions, we can now go for the formula derivation. That is, first of all, pumping will start from the pumping well, and there are at least two observation wells from which the value of head is determined, the value of water head is checked in these two wells. So first of all, the pumping will start, and at that time flow will not be steady, but it is continued up to the time until flow becomes steady. So when flow becomes steady, then only these H1 and H2 values will be constant. Before that it will be decreasing, and we will not get a constant value. So flow is continued up to a point until we get a constant value of these heads. So that is the first thing. And so in this case we can apply the Darcy's law as Q is equal to KIA, and I we can find out as, if now in this case it is flow is coming in a cylindrical form. So if this is the well and surrounded by it, the flow will be coming through all these directions. So the area of flow can be given as the surface of this cylinder. So surface of the cylinder is 2 pi RH. So if h is the thickness of the cylinder, then area of flow can be given as 2 pi RH, and I can be given as, for a distance of dH and over a length of dr. That means the dH amount of head difference is there for a distance of dr from the well. So the hydraulic gradient is the head upon the length of flow. So it is, we can say it is dH upon dr. So now if I put this value in the equation, so Q is equal to K dH upon dr into 2 pi RH. From here if we rearrange this, so dr upon r, Q into dr upon r is equal to 2 pi K H dH, and if we integrate this from the limit of q1 r1 and r2, so q dr upon r, r1 to r2, and corresponding to that head is h1 to h2 into h dh. So we are measuring the water level in these observation wells. So in this observation well, first observation well, which is at a distance of r1, the head is h1, and at a distance of r2 the head is h2. So these heads, as I said, it will be attained after the steady flow condition has been obtained. So after that this head will be constant, so we can write this equation like this. And now if we solve it, so we'll get Q ln r2 by r1 is equal to 2 pi k h2 square minus h1 square, and from here k can be written as Q ln r2 by r1 divided by 2 pi h2 square minus h1 square. So this is the formula for coefficient of permeability in an unconfined aquifer. Similarly, it can be done for the confined aquifer also. So in this case, in the observation well, it was simply giving the level of water, but now in the observation wells, it will give us the piezometric head. So this is the piezometric head in the pumping well from which we are doing the pumping, and the piezometric head in the observational well 1 is h1, and in observational well 2 it is h2, and which are at distance r1 and r2. So similarly again we can write Q is equal to KIA, and in this case A will become, because the thickness of this aquifer, the water will flow through only this thickness, so this thickness is B, so A will become this time 2 pi RB. and I will be equal to dH upon dr as it was in the last case. So from if we put this value in this equation, so Q is equal to K dH upon dr into 2 pi RB, and from here Q dr upon R is equal to 2 pi K B dH, and if we integrate it from H1 to H2, Q dr upon R, so corresponding limits will be R1 to R2, 2 pi KB, this is H1 to H2 dH. So from here Q ln R2 by R1 is equal to 2 pi KB H2 minus H1. From here K is equal to Q ln R2 by R1 divided by 2 pi B H2 minus H1. So one thing to notice here is that the head which we have taken in this equation, H1 and H2, it is measured from the bottom of the aquifer. So it is measured from this surface. Sometimes what can be done in the question, that you will be given that the drawdown will be given. So drawdown means that the how much the water surface has fallen. So if it was the water surface before the starting of the test, so from here it has fallen to a some value, let's say S1. So and similarly it has fallen to some H2 value has fallen to some value S2. So in that case what else will be given, the thickness of this the water initial piezometric level will be given. So let's say it is H, and so from here S1 can be written as H minus H1, and similarly S2 can be written as H minus H2. So if from here we can put the value of we can convert this value as we require in this equation. S1 and S2 can be converted into H1 and H2. If S1 and S2 is given, so we can find H1 and H2. So from there we can find out the coefficient of permeability. So just keep this in mind that these value what H1 and H2 are there, they are from the bottom of the aquifer. Similarly in this also, if this is the water surface before starting the test, so in that case this thickness of this water surface will be given. Say this is H. So again from here small h1 and h2 can be found out if the drawdown is given. So these are the pumping out tests. Next is the pumping in test. It is not as important as these above two tests. It is just for your knowledge. It has not been asked any time. So in this case what is done, the water is pumped inside the well. So what value we get from this, the value of permeability, it is not as reliable as what we get from the pumping out test, but it is economical, and it is done to find out the permeability of the adjacent area. So when we are pumping in, that water will be affecting very little area, so we can just find out the permeability of the adjacent area, not of the far off ground. So this is done when permeability is required for the adjacent area, and it is economical also. So depending upon that condition we can use this test. So that's it for the pumping test.